live show presented by the IDFC First Bank. It's day 4 of the first test between India and Sri Lanka, and there are a pack full of questions heading into day 4. First question obviously be because India will be batting, how long India will bat, what total India will set before they declare and pass the baton to Sri Lanka. How and if will there be a change in the batting order because now the limited time is left and you have to keep in mind the weather factor as well. Before we get into the discussions, I'll give you a quick weather update. The weather looks nice and pleasant. It's sunny out here, no dark clouds, no signs of dark clouds so far. And if you go by the weather forecast which we have uploaded just a half an hour back, then also it suggests that you will get most of the majority of the day will remain rain free, much like it was the case yesterday. But Shamik, coming to this day, important day for Team India because they'll be batting again. 178 run lead they already have. How much do you think they will target before they declare?
See, it will depend on the weather, of course. But I think Sri Lanka, if they are smart, they would be slowing down their over rates. 2 hours before lunch, not 2 hours, basically 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's a 9:45 a.m. start, and once again a 98 over day. But in that 2 hours 45 minutes, I don't see Sri Lanka bowling more than 26, 27 overs. So from that point of view, if India can score around 110, and if Yashasvi Jaiswal gets going, in that case, India would be obviously acceleration will not be a problem. Um, so Yashasvi Jaiswal is going to be very very important because you need time. Yesterday the ball did a bit on this pitch, but it is still not a rank turner. It is still not a rank turner, and we saw from that partnership between Niroshan, Dikwela, and Sonal, we saw that Sri Lanka went wicketless in the second session. So if batsmen are ready to apply themselves, they can bat on this pitch. Obviously, the ball is expected to do a little bit more because this will be the day 4 pitch. But India will have to take a lead of more than 375 at least before they declare.
I mean, this will be the the thing that Indian team management will be looking for is how many sessions or how many overs they bat. Will they bat only one session? If they do so, then what will be the approach of the Indian batters? Because now with a 178 run lead, it is now down to the Indian batters to dictate terms. As Samik mentioned there, the pitch eased out a bit in the afternoon session, and when there's the two side batters were batting, it didn't feel like there is much happening from the wicket, and that's what partnership does. Once that partnership was broken by Prasidh Krishna, Dilroshan Dikwela getting out in the third session, then again 4 wickets fell quickly, and that was the wrap of Sri Lankan innings. And that is why it is important to apply at the start so that you can give enough time to yourself as a batter before start making runs. But Shamik, once again, fresh day. Sri Lanka will have the new ball, and we have seen how new ball is sort of a danger for the batters, as Sri Lanka did in the first innings as well. So, how crucial will be the first hour of day speed for both KL Rahul and Yashasvi as well?
See, the new ball will swing a bit here because of the conditions, because of the sea breeze, and it's a pretty steady breeze. So the new ball will swing. It did on day 1. Second day, the first 2 sessions were washed out, but yesterday also the ball swung a bit. So the new ball will swing. Once again, India will have to mix caution with aggression. They cannot go bonkers right from the outset because in pursuit of scoring quick runs, if they lose 3 quick wickets, then again pressure is back. Then they would be under pressure. So 178 runs, but I think for the first 10 overs, they will have to play normal cricket. Normal cricket means once again I come to Yashasvi as well. If he plays his normal cricket, he will score runs at a fair clip. And KL Rahul, you all know, he takes a little bit of time to get into the group. So from that point of view, I think his role, KL Rahul is going to play second fiddle in that opening partnership. So the onus will be on Justice as well. But once again, India cannot go gung ho right from the outset. They will have to still 2 more days to play. So it is not that India will have to go for a no holds barred attacking approach right from the outset on day 4. Yes, there is always the rain threat, but you cannot play your cricket considering about when the rain will come. So for the first 10 overs, India will have to play normal cricket, and after that, from there on, they will take a call in terms of when and how to accelerate.
And this is where the weather will play a big role, because see, already a lot of overs, a lot of time has been lost due to bad weather conditions, especially on day 2. Day 3 was significantly better, far better. But if you look at now, the forecast looks good for the last 2 days, but again, weather is very unpredictable, and that is what team management has to keep an account of, that how long you will bat and how many overs you are going to give to your bowlers in order to take the 10 wickets. Because if it rains, then obviously it will be problems for Team India, because Shamik, India are in the driving seat. If rain happens and if this match ends in a draw, then Sri Lanka would be the happier of the two sides.
Of course, they will be the happier of the two sides because they are chasing the game from day one. And I still believe, given the nature of this match, unless it is going to change drastically, India will need at least 70 overs in the both innings to bowl Sri Lanka out. So from that point of view, it's not like that. This is a rank turner. I mean, the pitch will break fast, and you can bundle out a test side in 40 or 45 overs. It's unlikely unless once again if the pitch is changing its course. But I don't see that happening. And from that point of view, yes, 70 overs at least India will need in the fourth innings to bundle Sri Lanka out. And I think the team management's approach will be that, and they will play accordingly.
And again, there comes a point that how Yashasvi Jaiswal plays. I mean, because first innings, unfortunate the way he got run out. But now the focus will be on Yashasvi Jaiswal. KL Rahul scored, Devdutt Padikkal. Most of the batters apart from Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant scored in the first innings. Now already, if you look at Yashasvi Jaiswal's last 3 innings, he hasn't scored. In that one-off test against Afghanistan, 2 tests against South Africa, he struggled particularly against the left-arm pace of Marco Jansen. Now coming into this tour, he scored a half century in that practice game. But first innings, after that first innings dismissal, now since the pitch is also eased out a bit, how crucial Yashasvi Jaiswal will be for India's chances to give a head start. It have not go at a pace, because KL Rahul, as you said, KL Rahul will take his time, but then it will become important for Yashasvi Jaiswal to keep the scoring rate at least above 4.
Yes, that's what I have already spoken about. And just to see Jaiswal, irrespective of what he did in South Africa or his innings in Afghanistan, he was batting very well in the first innings here. He was very, very unlucky in that mix-up. And I think KL Rahul should have aborted that single. If Jassi Jaiswal were there and the way he was batting on day 1, I mean, he even in that first session, he was threatening to take the game away from Sri Lanka. So yes, Jassi Jaiswal, and we all know how quickly he can score his runs, and he was timing the ball very well in the first innings. So from that point of view, but then again, you never know. With the new ball, a ball, there might be an unplayable delivery. There could be a late swing. So from that point of view, I would like to see India, maybe, just maybe, going ahead. If there is a substantial opening partnership, Rishabh Pant at number 3 will not be a bad idea.
Yeah, change of batting order. That's another topic of discussion that we are going to have. Is will India change their batting order? Obviously, it is expected, it is anticipated that KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal will only start. But then, if the wicket falls, if the early wicket falls, Shavik, then also will you be tempted to bring Rishabh Pant, or will you stick with Devdutt Padikkal?
No, no, no. If there is, if there is an early wicket, then it has to be the set batting order. Devdutt Padikkal at number 3, followed by Shubman Gill. If only there is, if India will have a substantial opening partnership, only then can they think about promoting Rishabh Pant up the order. Because Rishabh Pant, with the older ball and the way Rishabh Pant plays, and if he gets going, then he can quickly take the game away from the opponents. But once again, once again, that is something they will have to decide only if Justice Jaiswal and KL Rahul sort of put together around 100 or 125 run partnership for the first wicket.
And this is where, when that opening partnership, how long they bat, what is the scoring rate. I think first hour of race play will be very important. And then by the end of the first session, where India are, I think that will decide how they approach or how many overs they are going to bat. Because coming, I think at least they are targeting 350, if not more.
Yes, yes, I said so. 370, at least 350. Yes, 370 because anything below. I don't think they would be comfortable in the dressing room because you never know. Cricket is a game of uncertainty. Anything can happen. Yes, I mean, if you compare the quality of the two sides, India are ahead. But once again, that cannot be the thought process. India will have to make the game safe first because you never know if it is hypothetical. If it is 24-4, I don't think it is going to happen. But if it is 24-4, then Sri Lanka is coming back into the game. So that cannot happen. India will have to ensure that they slam the door shut on Sri Lanka first, and only then they can think about winning this game. Yeah, you have to keep in mind that this is the first test of a two-match series, and another test is there to be played, which starts in Colombo from 28th to 23rd of August. So, given that this is also the first test of the two-match series, India cannot just go bonkers.
India cannot just go bonkers. And in the past we have seen funny things happen in cricket, and obviously one remembers that collapse in Adelaide, 36 all out. Obviously that was a different attack in different conditions, unlikely to happen. But again, cricket is a game of uncertainties. There is a player called Dinesh Chandimal who took the game away from India, where India were in a winning position, but then Dinesh Chandimal played that innings of follow when Sri Lanka were forced to follow on, and then that spell from Rangana Herath, and then Sri Lanka went on to win that match. So they can take inspiration from that match. They can take inspiration from the past. They have somebody like Dinesh Chandimal who can provide those words of wisdom to the team that yes, we are still behind in this game, but we can still fight back, much like they did on the second day after they took the new ball, the way Kishara Numanta bowled and Prabhat Jayasuriya, Asita Fernando as well, and yesterday that partnership between Sonal Nirosha and Niroshan Dikwala. But Sami, that partnership has suggested that even though there are foot marks and there is enough turn on offer, if you apply yourself, you are batting for longer periods, then this pitch seems to be good enough for batting.
Yes, yes, that was the case, at least until yesterday. And both players played very well. They used the switch shot very well. Niroshan Dikwala showed the way, and then Sonal chipped in. I mean, Sonal is sort of a new kid on the block, but I'm very impressed. What I saw yesterday, I'm very, very impressed. The way he thoroughly deserved his 100. I was a little disappointed the way he the way he threw away his wicket after getting to that milestone. He should have applied more. But if eventually Sri Lanka go on to draw this test match, I think they should be. I mean, that partnership, they would be talking about that partnership. The way, given the time lost in this test match, that could be very, very crucial. That wicketless second session and the way this two, and we have to also talk about Niroshan Dikwala coming back to the fold after 3.5 years, coming back to the fold after 3.5 years international fold, and the time in between was not good for him. He was suspended for doping violation. Initially, it was a 3-year suspension, and then the disciplinary committee found that it was out of competition thing, and it was not a performance enhancing drug. So he was that ban was reduced to 3 months, and now when he was picked in place of Kushal Mendes for the first test, I mean that was the biggest debate in Sri Lankan cricket in the lead up to this test match. But I mean the way he showed resolve and the way he showed character, it was a very, very determined innings. So from that point of view, he is called the naughty boy of Sri Lankan cricket. Earlier also there have been instances of COVID protocol breach and all, but Niroshan Dikwela, I mean, once again, it was a case of redemption in terms of Test half century after 4 years. Yes, a century, a Test century remained elusive. 92 is his highest score in this format. Yesterday, it looked like he would be getting there, but somehow after he lost concentration and got out. But once again, if Sri Lanka go on and draw this Test match, then they would be grateful to that partnership.
I think the problem with Niroshi Dekala has always been about not converting those 50s into 100. Just imagine you have a player who has played over 50 test matches in his career and is yet to score a 100 despite batting in top 6, and that is where question marks have always been on Niroshan Dikwela's ability, because this is test cricket. This is the longer format. We are talking about Sonal Dinusha not carrying forward after scoring that 100. Look what a Devdutt Padikkal did in the first innings. Devdutt Padikkal, after scoring that 100, was looking for a big score. That's what you have to do in Test cricket. Once you get a start, you have to convert it into a big innings. Daddy hundreds you have to score in this format. Look at what Rishabh Pant has done when it comes to batting for India in Test cricket. He has scored those big hundreds, match-winning hundreds, and that's what you have to do. But with Niroshan Dikwela, there's always been that problem. He scores those quick runs, looks good on the ice, but just when he's nearing his century, then he throws away his wicket. He found ways to get out. That has been the case, and that's why the inconsistency has been a big label on Niroshan Dikwela's career. But Sonal Dinusha, on the other hand, looks very promising. As I have said this at the start of the NCC only, that he is the one batter who has scored 100, obviously against Prime Minister 11 in Australian conditions. But that one batter looks very promising. I think Sri Lanka have found that all-rounder, the utility player for the future in Sonal Dinusha. So Freaking Awesome has one comment. 1.5 session. I think he's saying that 1.5 session India will bat. Not more than that. Bat like an ODI game and score 5-6 runs per over and score 200. 370, 380 would be a good target. 344 is the highest record chase in golf. Shamik, bat like an ODI game, 5-6 runs per over.
Yeah, sounds good and easier said than done, because you have to keep in mind that there is an opponent on the field as well. And this is Test cricket, so you will not have the leeway of that field restrictions, and the batting team will not have the leeway of the field restrictions. The margin for wides will be bigger. So from that point of view, Sri Lanka, if need be, they can put all the 10 players, 9 players in the boundary, and they can bowl wide. They can bowl wide and get away with that. It will be not that easy. 5 and 6 runs per over in Test cricket, it is tough. It is tough. Let's see how it pans out. But four four runs per over, I expect them to go at 4 runs per over.
Let's just talk about a bit about Sri Lanka and the way they will approach this particular session, because this will be an important session, and this would decide that where this game is heading to. Of course, permitting the weather, if the weather stays good. But Shamik, from a Sri Lanka's point of view, if you are in Sri Lanka's camp, what will be the approach? Will Dhananjay De Silva opt for an inside-out field, closing fielders, and then few fielders on the boundary line as well, or they will look to attack, bring in more closing fielders?
If I were in that Sri Lankan think tank, obviously hypothetically, I would have asked Prabhat Jayasuriya to go over the wicket, bowl outside the leg stump into the pads, into the rough or into the pads, and with a 7 fielders in the leg side. That should have been the approach, and that is basically, yes, you can say that is a negative approach, but this game is something Sri Lanka cannot win. Unless there is a miracle, unless they are pulling off a miracle, they cannot win. So they will have to think about it in terms of saving this game. So Prabhat Jayasuriya will have a left-arm spinner who has control. Straight away go on the defensive mode. Both from over the wicket, bowl outside the leg stump, have 7 fielders on the leg side, and force India to go inside out. You have to keep in mind that India will try to employ sweep, but the Indian players don't play the sweep shot well. So Sri Lanka will have to go ultra defensive. Let's see how they do it.
Start with pace on from both the ends, or one end you are carrying a pacer and the other end you will have a spinner, because spinner has bowled well with the new ball in this wicket.
Of course, yes. And I mean, towards the end of India's innings, first innings, Prabhat Jayasuriya got his rhythm. Nuwanta also was very, very impressive. There is no point bowling pace from both ends because, I mean, they don't have match winning fast bowlers. Yes, for a couple of overs, they might see whether, or maybe start with pace from one end and straight away go with Prabhat Jayasuriya from the other. And just one slip. If you are bowling pace, no need to have three slips and a gully. Just one slip. Spread out your field. Spread out your field. Go ultra defensive. Make India toil for scoring those runs. That should be the approach for Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka would be wary of using their pacers for long spells, because more the pacers bowl on this wicket, there will be the foot marks will increase, and that will be a problem because those foot marks will play into the hands of the Indian team when they will bowl in the fourth innings. And as in regards to your question, as of now there is no rain, but there is a forecast of a shower between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then there is a spell of rain forecasted for late in the afternoon, but not much of rain is there. If you talk about day 4, and if you talk about the start of the day, it will be 9:45 early start. 98 overs will be bowled today, obviously given the weather permits. But now coming to this point, Shamil, if Sri Lanka bowls their pacers long spells, then obviously those rough patches it will increase, because landing area there, then it will play into the hands of the Indian spinners when it comes to the more innings.
And also, Vaibhav, there is no point giving the spacers long spells because space the fast bowlers Sri Lanka have, they are unlikely to run through Indian batting. So there is no point. There is no point. And the pace bowlers, the way they bowl around 132, 135, that will come nicely onto the bat, and it would be to the advantage of the Indian batsmen. They will be able to force the pace. So there is no point. Use your strength. Stick to your strength, which is spin. Prabhat Jayasuriya bowled well towards the end of India's first innings. And Nuwanta once again, he was getting a very nice grip. Dhananjaya De Silva gave him the right hand, and here also I hope he will give him the right hand. See, this is Test cricket. No quarter is given an unasked for. So make India toil to score those runs. And the longer you would be able to keep India on the field as far as the batting is concerned, the bigger will be your chances to draw this Test match. So try doing that, and if that if that means that you have to go ultra defensive, do that.
And see, again, coming to Sri Lanka, the way they have bowled in the second innings, so on the second day, with the second new ball, I think Keshara Nuwanta will have a big role with the new ball. If you talk about the new ball, that this, upright seam, the way he was using that drift with the new ball, I think he first got the wicket of Rishabh Pant, then KL Rahul. Again, I think it will be Dhananjaya De Silva will turn to Keshara Nuwanta against KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal early. And once again, with the new ball, Keshara Nuwanta will have a big role. Already he has taken 3 wickets, has looked impressive. But now he will have a bigger role, because now the conditions will be more favorable than what it was on the second day. But Shamik, if you talk about Sri Lanka, who will be their key spinner? Who will be the one who can go run through India's batting lineup?
I don't see anyone running through India's batting, but key spinner will be Prabhat Jayasuriya. Over the wicket into the rough. This is day 4 pitch. Over the wicket into the rough. Cram the Indian players for room, and keep 7 fielders on the leg side. Keep 7, make run scoring difficult. So that should be the key against the left-hander Yashasvi Jaiswal. Against the left-hander Yashasvi Jaiswal, I don't mind fast bowlers operating in the sense and bowl outside leg stump into his body. Don't give him anything on and around off stump.
And talking about Shubman Gill, because now Shubman Gill, once again, in the first innings we saw the way he got dismissed. When he will come out to bat in the second innings, if he does, then it will be important for Shubman to score runs. Obviously, there's no question about his ability or his form, but it's just about time. It's the time for Shubman Gill to score quick runs so that he can take the team past that 350, 370 run mark quickly.
Yes, Shubman Gill, if he stays at the crease, he will score runs at a fair clip. I mean, given the range that he has, among all the Indian batsmen, nobody has his range. He is a world-class batsman, and given the range he has, he will score runs. That is not a problem. First innings, I think he got a little greedy, and the way he was batting just before getting out that cover drive, he looked to be in various form. So I'm not reading anything into that dismissal. Yes, of course. I mean, three players I'm looking forward to as far as India are concerned. One is Jesse Jaiswal at the top, and then Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant. For India to score quick runs, these three batsmen, they will have to bank on these three batsmen, and hopefully, I mean, uh, once again, that opening stand would be the key. If there is a substantial opening partnership, things will be easier for the batsman to follow.
And even if the wicket falls, then you have somebody like a Devdutt Padikkal who has scored that big 100 in the first inning. He's been in splendid form. And again, coming into the second innings, he will once again be the player to focus on. Shamik, Devdutt Padikkal has played the most number of release, has spent the most number of time, most time at this crease. So Devdutt Padikkal role also becomes very crucial with the bat.
Yes, I mean, Devdutt Padikkal, obviously, see, Devdutt Padikkal, the earlier version of Devdutt Padikkal was, I will not say he was a strokeless wonder, but he was very limited in terms of his stroke play, the earlier version. Now, what has happened from 2026 IPL onwards, we have seen a different version of Devdutt Padikkal because there is a Dinesh Karthik hand in it. Dinesh Karthik, his batting coach at Royal Challengers Bangalore, and basically that upright stance is what wonders here. He is not, obviously, this is Test cricket. He cannot be that upright the way he was batting in T20 cricket. So he chose the middle ground, and that allowed him to play his shot freely. And his footwork was very, very decisive. He was light on his feet. So all combined, and he will, when he will come to bat in this innings, he will carry forward the confidence of scoring his maiden Test 100 in the first innings. So Devdutt Padikkal, yes, obviously, Devdutt Padikkal is going to be another player who is expected to contribute to India's cause in the second innings.
Shamik, if just in case hypothetical situation, again we are considering that if KL Rahul gets out early, then will it be Devdutt Padikkal or Shubman Gill who will have to play that holding role at one and allow other batters to play from the other end?
No. If whether it is KL Rahul or Jesse Jaiswal, if an opener gets out early, it has to be Devdutt Padikkal. He is the designated number three. In that case, there will be no scope of tinkering with the batting order and Shubman Gill at number four. Only if there is a big opening stand, India. Only then can India think about rejigging their batting order, promoting Rishabh Pant up the order. So, but that is for that. India will have to have a big opening stand. If a wicket falls early, if a wicket falls to a new ball, then obviously they will have to stick to the conventional batting order.
Looking awesome, saying our our run rate in the first innings was 3.96. I think that was the first innings. Obviously, the Indian batters didn't know how the conditions will play, but now they know that they are already ahead in this Test match, 178 run lead, and then they will be going hard. There is no doubt that Team India will be going out, and you will see a better run rate in excess of 4 at least when India will complete the second innings. But Shamik, is there any chance of Sri Lanka bowling out India?
I don't think so. I don't see that kind of penetration in this Sri Lankan bowling attack. Yes, Prabhat Jayasuriya is a good bowler. Nwanta is also he was pretty impressive in the first innings. But I don't see enough quality in this Sri Lankan bowling attack to run through India's batting. For that, India will have to bat very, very poorly. I don't see that happening. This game is, see, only one team can win this test match, and that is India. For Sri Lanka, drawing this test would be a great result. Playing catch up from day one and drawing. And obviously, if they get there in terms of eking out a draw, they will have to be thankful to to the inclement weather in Gaul, because without that, without losing those overs, India would have had um, a lot more time to dictate terms in this test match. But that is water under the bridge now. So we don't, whatever 2 days of play left, 98 overs today, once again, 98 overs tomorrow. But I don't think 90 overs will be possible given that the light fades pretty quickly after 5:30 in this part of the world. So even if there is no rain interruption and if they can play 90 overs today, so 90 overs is still enough. 90 overs is still enough. Given that if India bats around 70 or 75 of those, in that case 70, if they're 70, and if they score at around 4.5 runs per over, they would be in a very good position to declare.
Yeah, means you are looking at a situation where India are batting at least 2 sessions, and later in the third session they are giving Sri Lanka to the target and then coming out to bowl.
Exactly. They will have to bat the first 2 sessions, and after that, maybe half an hour into the third session, and then. But if the rain god intervenes in between, then they will have to alter their plans. But as things stand, I don't see. I mean, it's clear blue sky. It's absolutely clear blue sky, and I don't think. I mean, rain is going to play spoil sport today.
And if rain plays a spoil sport, then it will play into the hands of the Sri Lankan team because, as Shamik said, only one team can win from this position, and that is Team India. Sri Lanka at max will be hoping that rain god arrive. Only if considerable amount of time is lost, then only India will lose this test match. Otherwise, if there is enough time and if what forecast is suggested, what forecast is predicted for the last 2 days, if it remains the same, then India will obviously be in a great position to win this test match, unless and until there is a remarkable fight back from Sri Lanka, which has happened in the past. But again, those kind of fight backs, that 2015 test where Dinesh Chandimal and Rangana Herath was zeros, that happens only once in a decade kind of performances. That generally doesn't happen. And if you look at this Sri Lankan team, the way they batted the first yesterday,
And also, this team doesn't have a Rangana, right?
exactly. This team doesn't have a Rangana era. Dinesh Chandimal, at that time, he was a very promising talent. Now he's the most experienced batter. But again, is Dinesh Chandimal well equipped to play the similar kind of innings? This quality of opposition is again is something that even Sri Lankan fans know that now Dinesh Chandimal is not of same of the old as he was in 2015.
But Vaibhav, I think talking about when we are talking about the left-arm spinners, Rangana Herath and Prabhat Jayasuriya, we should talk a bit about our left-arm spinners, our new kid on the block, Manav Sudar. He was, he was pretty impressive. The way, I haven't seen any left-arm spinner to turn the ball so much, and we have to keep in mind that it was once again not a rank turner. I haven't seen any left-arm spinner, irrespective of Indian or not, to turn the ball so much since Maninder Singh. And along the way, I intend to speak to Maninder Singh once about Manav Sudar, but he was very, very impressive.
He was impressive, and Manav Sudar, if you look at the variations also he has, he is not the one who only turns the ball. He also has that delivery that goes on straight with the arm, that arm ball. These variations makes him a very difficult customer to bat against, and then uses the drift really well, create different angles, and that's what makes Manav Sudar a very challenging bowler and very different to a veteran like Ravindra Jadeja, who has taken 350 plus test wickets. With Shamik, fourth innings, Ravindra Jadeja will be very crucial to India's chances because we know how good Ravindra Jadeja becomes when the pitch deteriorates and it's a fourth innings.
Of course, and he's a champion player. Yesterday he became only the second Indian all-rounder after the great Kapil Dev to reach that landmark of 4,000 plus test runs and 350 test wickets. So, humongous achievement. And you can think about how privileged Manav Sudar is that he is having this opportunity to bowl in tandem with Ravindra Jadeja and learn from him. And Manav Sudar spoke about that as a post press conference, that how big a learning experience this is for him to bowl, to have that opportunity to bowl alongside Ravindra Jadeja, share the dressing room with Ravindra Jadeja, and learn from him. And yes, once again, Ravindra Jadeja, people are talking about. I mean, if this is the time to move on, and once again, he came up with 3 wickets yesterday. Once again, he came up with 3 wickets yesterday. So Ravindra Jadeja, he is a champion player, and you are right. If the pitch deteriorates on day 5, Ravindra Jadeja is going to be a serious threat as far as Sri Lankan batting is concerned.
But Shamik, one player once again has been in question and has been among conversations is Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav picked only 1 wicket. Obviously, the majority of the damage was done by the two left-arm spinners in Manav Sudhar and Ravindra Jadeja. But Kuldeep Yadav once again only because he picked 1 wicket, people are talking about him not being in rhythm. What do you have? What has been your assessment of Kuldeep Yadav in this test so far?
I don't know. I mean, I think he yesterday at least he was bowling a bit faster. He was bowling a bit quicker. If he slows down his pace in Test cricket, I think that would augur well. That would be helpful. Kuldeep is the best judge. I'm obviously going to give him any suggestions because I don't have the authority or I don't. I mean, Kuldeep Yadav is the best judge. But what I saw from the press box, maybe just maybe, if he slows down the pace, that would augur well for him. That is number one. Number two, it's never easy. Always looking over your shoulder when you are playing, and it happens. What happens? Kuldeep Yadav has been left out of the white ball fold. Now, when you are left out of the white ball fold, it comes to your mind that maybe I will have to bowl a flatter, faster, quicker, because that is the way to bowl. That is the way to bowl in the shorter formats. Now, when he is coming to Test cricket, he is carrying that to Test cricket also, and that basically maybe just maybe that is affecting his bowling. But Kuldeep is a champion bowler in his own right. He is a fantastic. He is a match winner. I and yesterday also basically also the pitch became a bit flatter. I mean the pitch after in the second section didn't do much. So from that point of view, I think Kuldeep is. And I saw him having a lengthy conversation with India, the team's spin bowling coach Sairaj Mahudule. So all combined, I think I expect Kuldeep to bounce back pretty soon.
I think for India to wrap up Sri Lanka, take those 10 wickets in the fourth inning, I think all three spinners will have a big role. Obviously, the way Mohammad Siraj and Prasidh Krishna starts with the new ball, again, that will also be important, but I think majority of the damage will once again be done by the spinners, and Kuldeep will have a very big role because of the variety that he brings. Left arm, this spin is something not easy to read as a left-hand batter or a right-hand batter. And as we speak, there's a joint photo session going on of the Indian team and the Sri Lankan team before the start of the day 4 because now we are only few minutes left. We have only few minutes away from the start of the day 4. It will be an early start, 9:45, 98 overs to be bowled. But Shamik, once again, coming to Manav Sudhar. Manav Sudhar, we have seen although it's only two test matches, sample size is very small, but we have seen the promise with the bat. We are seeing a match winner with the ball. Could Manav Sudhar be the next leader of the spin bowling attack?
Too early to say that. I mean, this is Test cricket, but what we can say is that in Manav Sudhar, after a long time, we have someone, a spin bowler, who looks absolutely cut out for red ball cricket. He is not someone who is is a byproduct of white ball cricket and carrying that forward to red ball cricket. He looks completely cut out for the longer format, and I think that is the most encouraging thing.
Rajesh Subramaniam is saying KL should make it big this time as he missed a well-deserved 100 in the first innings.
KL Rahul is padded up as they were having a joint photo session. KL Rahul and Jaiswal are padded up. Let's see how he plays. But once again, KL Rahul takes a little bit of time to get into the group. In the first innings, also he batted at his own pace. As because Devdutt Padikkal played his shots and Devdutt Padikkal went at a fair clip. The scoreboard ensured Devdutt Padikkal ensured that the scoreboard move at a good pace. But KL Rahul is not someone who will go gung ho from ball one.
And KL Rahul has a role. You know, he has a role clarity in this team. If you look at the way he batted, he could have easily batted at a pace like Yashasvi Jaiswal was batting or Rishabh Pant was batting. But why he chose to operate at that there, it's not that it's something that KL Rahul wants. It's something that Indian team needs from him, from their most experienced player of the batting unit. If you see KL Rahul, then he knows his role in this team, and I don't see KL Rahul opting a very gung-ho approach in the second innings when he comes out to bat. Yes, he has scored runs. He missed out on 100, but I don't see that happening. That KL Rahul will go after the bowling from the ball one. That is unlikely to happen. I think it will be KL Rahul holding one end so that the Indian team doesn't suffer a collapse like they did in the second day when Sri Lanka took that new ball. They lost 4 wickets on the bounce, and that became very difficult. And that is why if India, when they were thinking of posting a total of 600 plus from the position they were in, they could only manage 462, and that is why you have to have a player like KL Rahul holding one, and just in case if KL Rahul gets out, then the same role will be taken by Devdutt Padikkal or Shubman Gill. Let others like Shavik mentioned, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rishabh Pant. You have to allow these batters to play freely, but one has to hold the end because cricket is a funny game. You have to avoid the collapse as well. You cannot take the opposition lightly. Whenever you do, then we have seen funny things happening in this game. But Shamik, because we are only few minutes away from closing the show, 2 sessions, as you said, India might bat. In these 2 sessions, how many they could score? 250, 300? What could be India's target?
Um, as far as my prediction is concerned, maybe 100 for 2 would be good in the first season, and they can take it from there in the second, upping the ante. 100 for 2 would be decent. Decent return as far as first season is concerned.
I think if they are batting in 2 sessions, then obviously 200 runs is at least what they will be targeting. And if they post 200, then the target will be 379. And 379, I think, will be a very good total. Given that the pitch is deteriorating and India have enough quality in their spin bowling attack, in their bowling attack, but to say, now the players are already out. The game is about to begin. Let's see what total India will post, how much target India will set, and if Sri Lanka can fight back from this position. We'll be back after the lunch session, so don't forget to join us then, and stay tuned to Sports for everything related to the India and Sri Lanka Test series.